Hello and good evening. I'm Josh. Welcome to the Nightly from Hatch, where your late night thoughts go to rest. As you know, every Sunday we do a deep dive on a topic that was brought to us by a caller during the week. And as summer's winding down, I thought it would be nice to really focus on the beach for a little longer to kind of hold on to that good summer warmth and energy. Earlier in the week, I talked to a caller named Annabelle about rediscovering her love of the beach as an adult, kind of going from being a kid who felt like it was a chore to being an adult who kind of lives for a weekend at the beach, or at least one weekend day. Actually, let me play you a clip so you can hear her enthusiasm firsthand. And what have you called to chat about this evening?
Well, I've just been thinking about kind of the beach a lot this summer. I feel like it's the first summer where I'm really getting into that type of landscape. And I'm like 24, so I feel like it's something that I've discovered at an older age, and it's kind of awesome. You know, because it's like very convenient in New York, and
Totally.
and then I'm like sitting there and I'm like, oh, this is why people like want to retire here, because it's just so peaceful. It's nice. It's like, you know, a beautiful landscape. These are all like not new discoveries, but it's like things that just kind of settled in my body as I was like really present for the first time.
So that's Annabelle talking about why she loves the beach and how she came to love it in what distressed me to hear her describe as being an older person at age 24, but I'm going to let that slide. So this Sunday night, I want to call my friend Erin, who is a writer and a pal, but who's also like an extremely enthusiastic amateur surfer and familiar specifically with Rockaway Beach, where Annabelle goes on the weekends. So I'm going to give her a call right now.
Hello?
Erin, hi, it's Josh.
Oh, Josh, hey.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me on the Nightly tonight. I'm so excited to talk with you about surfing.
Oh, it is extremely my pleasure. Thank you for calling.
So for our listeners, can you tell us where in the world are you now, and are you there to surf?
Well, I'm sitting in a rental car in the north of Ireland in a place called Bushmills, and the steering wheel's on the wrong side, but I have not killed myself or others yet. But I am here to surf. I'm going to try to surf the North Sea this afternoon. There's a little bit of a swell coming through, and so we're going to see if we can get some waves up in Ireland.
Wow. Now, when you planned your trip to Ireland, did you know there would be surfing, or did you see that the swell was coming in and you're like, I got to pounce?
Well, here's what happened. My best friend comes out to Ireland about once a year because she's very interested in the Irish liberation and studying it and like understanding it. And so she kind of baited me by saying, hey, I bet we could get some waves if we went up to the North Sea. And I said, you know what, girl, I have nothing to do for the rest of my life. I'm there. So the trip is not about surfing, but we are going to see if we can score a little bit while we're here, which I'm excited. It'll probably be the coldest water I've ever surfed in.
Oh, wow. So do you have to do anything special to prepare?
Just get mentally ready, I think, to get ice baths. We didn't bring boards or wetsuits. We're just we already kind of like went to the surf shop yesterday to kind of like, no pun intended, test the waters and see the vibe. But yeah, we'll rent some suits and we'll rent some boards and we'll paddle out.
Cool. So you have traveled all over. Like, I mean, you're now internationally surfing. You've gone up and down the West Coast, East Coast. What drew you to surfing as like an activity and like kind of a organizing principle for travel?
Yeah, wonderful question. Also, just so we're all on the same page, I am not an expert on surfing. I think people think I rip at surfing. I do not rip at surfing. I just love it and I can't stop doing it. I'm like the world's most okayest surfer. If I'm an expert on anything, I'm an expert on being like average at surfing. You know what I mean? Like I'm an expert at being like an adult learner.
That's amazing though, because the caller that we had earlier in the week, Annabelle, was like, as an adult, I've started going to the beach, which I never chose to do as like a teen. You know, she was like, this is now my lifestyle, is like I go to the beach and hang out. And so I think there's something about her call and the conversation we had that makes you such a perfect person to talk to? Because it wasn't like you have been a competitive surfer since you were a kid.
No way. In fact, not at all.
Yes. So like, what was the draw, and what was your first time like, if you remember?
Oh, my first time. Oh boy. Well, the draw is that I grew up surrounded by skateboarders. I grew up like in kind of like a skating focused culture. And so I can, push around a little bit on a board, but I was always like very interested in surfing because while skating is fun, it's like super urban and removed from nature, and surfing is kind of like skating in nature, if you will. And like I'm a person who really likes to be like in the natural world, and so I was like, well, here's the perfect marriage of these two things that I enjoy. And I also, I don't know, I think there was a lot of early 2000s propaganda that like made me want to surf, like the movie Blue Crush and like PacSun being in my local mall, and like I don't know, movies like Disney Channel original movies like Johnny Tsunami. Like I'm not kidding, this stuff like got in my skull and made me think surfing is the coolest thing you could do on earth. And so when I lived in New York City in my 20s, I used to take the train down to Rockaway Beach and take lessons with local surf shop, shout out Kook Mike, and like learn to surf as an adult woman.
Cool.
But then I moved out to LA where I was able to surf like a couple times a week instead of like once every couple weeks. And it started to really click for me at that point.
Awesome.
And I'm still not good at surfing, but as Jerry Lopez always says, the best surfer is the one having the most fun. And on those standards, I am the best surfer. I am what they call, yeah, in the surf community, there's a term for it. It's like frothy, like somebody who's like really excited about surf. I'm a very frothy surfer. I'm stoked about it. Every single time I paddle out, I'm having the best day of my life. That's
so funny. Also, it feels so funny to me, the idea that the opposite of that exists. People who are surfing and just gritting their teeth and like waiting till they can clock out of the ocean.
100%, Josh. There's a place in LA called Topangry Beach, which is known for being one of the angriest surf spots. They call it Topangry. And all the dudes there are just sitting with their arms crossed, furious.
Wait, what are they mad at?
They're mad at me. They're mad at like people who didn't grow up in the area, kind of like crowding the lineup and not knowing the etiquette, which is extremely important. And if you're interested in surfing, you got to learn the etiquette first. But waves are kind of a finite resource because they're not always good, and they're not always like a lot of things have to align, the tides, the winds, the swell. And so when the waves are good, it's a lot of people going for the same wave. You gotta kind of give deference to the people who are local or better than you or sitting in the right position. And a lot of people don't know those unspoken rules. So there can be a lot of, to be quite frank, like fighting, like abusive people get into fights in the parking lot, which is insane because I think everybody's image of a surfer is like this laid back, long haired hippie. And it's like, actually, no, it's a lot of very angry people.
That's so interesting because obviously like in any community, in any activity, right? Like knowing the lay of the land and knowing the etiquette is so important, but it is so contrary that like there are such sticklers that it becomes confrontational in this sport specifically.
100%. There's a spot in LA called PV Cove where there was an attempted murder charge because a guy got into such a bad fight in the parking lot that he almost killed a guy.
Wow. Over a wave?
Yep. Over waves. Yep.
So that is the kind of Topangry Beach culture that can pop up. What was the vibe in the Rockaways? Like we talked about this before this call and you were like, it was just the greatest month. I had so much fun. What about that beach in Queens felt so invigorating?
And Josh, I'm so glad you asked.
Thank you.
Because surfing in the Rockaways was a dream compared to LA because I couldn't believe how kind, friendly, and welcoming the vibe was. I thought because New York City has such a vibe, the city itself has such a vibe for being sort of tough and maybe unfriendly, I'm thinking that same vibe is going to carry into the water. It couldn't be more of the opposite. I mean, the first day I paddled out, people were just like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I was like, "What?" like truly culture shocked, and thinking almost that they're like messing with me, because in the 7 years I lived in LA, I might have made 2 friends in the water, a dentist named Eric, and I can't even, that's it. This guy named Eric.
And then in the Rockaways, people were just chill. Do you think it's because the culture is less intense overall? Like there are fewer people doing it at a like more refined level, so it's more of a hobbyist energy?
100%. I also think, I had mentioned it to my friend Mike. I was like, dude, people are so nice in the water here. And he said, waves were bad. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, waves are bad. Nobody cares, like, that you're out there. Like, wait till the waves get good. They'll be a little bit more territorial.
Oh,
but actually,
that's
I went
really
out on a
funny.
day that was, but he's still coming from an East Coast mentality. Like, I went out on a day that was like a good day, like glassy face, like 4 foot. Everybody was like, there were so many people in the water, and people were still letting me take waves and being nice and saying nice waves to me and stuff, which they don't do in LA. Cause I don't know. It's just a different,
I love the idea of like Rockaway Beach as memorialized in a Ramones song is like a friendly, chill, nice place.
Yes, the most welcoming vibe.
Just real quick, you said glassy face, which I can imagine what that means in a surfing context. It sounds like a Hailey Bieber makeup product. So like, what does that mean?
And it is.
Okay,
and I'm here to promote it right now.
No further questions.
It just means there's like not that much wind on the wave, and so the face of the wave is smooth and easy to ride without like any like turbulence or like bumps, which makes for like a more enjoyable day surfing.
Cool. So like, I guess I was wondering if you could explain the feeling of it, like being kind of an enthusiastic surfer who kind of struggling through the technique of it all, but just like embracing the joy. Because our caller Annabelle said that she had tried surfing once and felt like she was getting waterboarded for an hour. And does that feel
100%.
Is that what it's like when you start? And like, what makes you push through that part? What makes you go like, probably at some point this won't feel like a war crime?
Totally. So the way that me and my friend Thomas talk about it is like, some days you'll go out and like, for a number of reasons, you're not getting a wave. Maybe there's just literally no waves coming through, and you're sitting out there, and it took you, 20 minutes to drive to the spot, 10 minutes to get your wetsuit on, you're paddled out, you're out there 45 minutes, no waves are coming through, it's cold, it's windy, and then finally like one little tiny wave comes through, you stand up on it, you ride it, and then you're like, okay, I want to do this for 4 more hours. Like, there's something so addicting about the feeling of being on like one single wave. If you get one wave in a session, will keep you so stoked. Like, it's like addicting. And I don't know why, because skateboarding, you could just drop in on a ramp to get a similar physiological sensation in your body, but for some reason it doesn't hit for me the same way it does when you see a wave coming after like the delayed gratification of sitting out there. And then a wave comes, you're like, holy shit, here it comes. And then you start paddling, you're like, oh my God, I'm in the right spot. And then you stand up and you're like, it's happening, it's happening. And then you're riding and you're like, yeah. And then it's over and you're like, cool, so I'll do that again tomorrow. Even if that's the only wave I got that day, that feeling. And then I just, I miss it when I can't do it. Like, I've been living in New York. After the Rockaway month, I lived up in Greenpoint for a couple weeks, and I didn't get a chance to go down to Rockaway. And I just was like, holy shit, I miss surfing. Like, I just miss that. I don't know what it is. And I don't have an addictive personality. I don't do drugs. I don't drink that much. It's the only thing I can't stop doing.
Wow. Okay. Annabelle had said that like one of the appeals of the beach to her is that you get on the train, you go out to the Rockaways. Like, obviously not every place has train to beach setup, but like you get there and you are out of the rhythm of your life. You're in kind of a different world. Is that how that feels to you as well?
Well, the Rockaways specifically, I think, feels so otherworldly. It feels kind of like, sorry, a bus just went by. I feel kind of like LA and New York City had a baby. And it's like, I can't believe we're still in New York City. Like, there's these great little beach shacks where you can get smoothies and poke bowls, and there's like fish tacos, and everybody's tan. And then you take the train like 30 minutes and you're in the middle of Brooklyn. Like, it doesn't seem to, it almost feels like I heard it described in an article I read that said the Rockaways feel like that dream you have where you open a door in your house and there's a room you forgot about. And that's how I feel. I thought that was so well said. That
there's like a Narnia aspect.
Exactly. Exactamundo, my friend. It feels impossible. And when I tell people from other parts of the country, like, oh yeah, I learned to surf in New York City, they think I'm kidding. Like, no, I'm being dead serious. I learned to surf in New York City. There's a whole beach there, and you can go there, and it only costs $2.70 on the subway.
Well, it's up to $3 now.
I knew you were going to fact check me. As I said I haven't lived in New York in a long time, and I bet it's not $2.70 anymore.
Yeah, and also when you pay with your card, I feel like you lose track of the 30 cents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's fake money. It's monopoly money.
Yep. So Annabelle was talking about her ideal beach day, like what she gets out of it. And she said a bagel, a blanket, post-beach nap, sometimes a book on the blanket, sometimes just kind of zoning out. And obviously you're there for a more specific activity. What does your ideal day look like? You said like 4 hours sometimes out waiting for waves. Like what time of day do you start? What do you do while you're at the beach? What does that look like? And then what happens after? Are you done for the day? Are you like jazzed and ready to like go out on the town?
Yeah, there's so many things I want to touch on here. Number one, like, there's something about surfing, which I don't know if this is a real thing, but to get out, we call it dawn patrol, like first light, to get out like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. is the best time to surf. And I think it's because the winds are down. But again, I'm not an expert on surfing. I'm just extremely excited about it. It feels also just like that thing where surfers feel like pride about getting out early. Like, it's like, there's this joke in surfing that's waves are better an hour ago. Like, when you ask somebody, how like you're paddling out.
That's funny.
Yeah, you're paddling out, they're paddling in. You go, oh, how are the waves? Like, oh, you just missed it. They're better an hour ago. And it's like there's this sort of competitiveness about getting up early, which is funny.
I love that. Like, there's a stand-up comedy joke that is similar, which is that everywhere you go, right? If you're touring and there's not, it's like a light crowd, the owner will always tell you they were packed last week.
Exactly.
And so that it feels very similar of like every community having this joke about like, sorry, you just missed out on the best thing you could have had.
It almost feels like that's just the human experience, right? Like, like the nostalgia almost. Like, we're like so primed as human beings, I think, to think things were better before. And it comes through in our hobbies
no
too.
Doubt.
But to talk about
but you were saying, so like early.
Yeah, but it's funny because I went to the beach with my friend Liam. He came down to see me in Rockaway, and he was like, oh, you must be like beach queen. Like, you know exactly how to spend a day at a beach. And I'm like, you know what's funny? I don't, because I don't hang out at the beach. It's almost like I go to work at the beach. Like, I come in with my suitcase, my briefcase, which is my surfboard. I do my job, which is surfing, and then I like clock the fuck out and leave. Can I say fuck? Sorry. I clock out and leave, and like, I don't really know how to hang out on the beach because I'm usually like, cool, did the thing I came to do. So when I go to the beach,
how long is like an average session?
I feel like 90 minutes on an average day. If it's like a day where I am like, I'm trying to like surf, like me and my friends will often do 2 90-minute or 2-hour sessions, so 4 hours all day, but usually you have to get out and eat and then get back in because it's like you'll be shivering and starving. And
are you packing a lunch in a lunch pail, or are you looking for something at a shack on the beach?
So this is the thing. There's like, depending on if I'm just doing like an in and out, I'm clocking in at the surf factory, I won't pack a lunch. But if we're doing like an all day thing, we'll pack a little cooler. Me and my friend Giovanna used to always pack hard boiled eggs, grapes, lots of spherical spherical foods, but like not like cool foods, not like like just like very efficient, like, you know, beef jerky and like coconut water and like hard boiled eggs, which I miss. I have high cholesterol. And but I guess my perfect normal day, beach day, would be getting in the water by 7 a.m., surfing for 90 minutes to 2 hours, getting out, and then maybe grabbing something on the beach like a poke bowl or an acai bowl or a smoothie, usually very thirsty. And then, this is the best part, you go home and you take a 2-hour nap. And that's it.
That sounds incredible. And that's the day. Is there like what it feels like one of the things and don't let me put words in your mouth if this isn't true, but like it feels like you are really totally consumed with surfing while you are surfing. Does that feel like, what does that feel like? And how does that, is there like a psychological state you get into that is especially pleasurable?
I gotta say, this is like my favorite interview I've ever done because you're just letting me talk about this thing I love so much. And nobody ever indulges me like this. Thank you so much for wanting to talk about this. But okay.
Thank you for answering all my questions.
It's my pleasure, Josh. I have two answers for this. Number one, I think part of the reason I find surfing addicting is because it is something that puts me in the moment. Like, you literally have to be reacting in real time to conditions that are ever changing, which makes you not overthink anything because you just have to kind of go on instinct, which I think is good for people who are too in their head. I think it's what I find relaxing, meditative, and restorative about it. But my second answer to that is that I've heard it said that surfing hits all of the happiness hormones, which are DOSE. So it's dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. And so I think it hits dopamine because you're completing a task, which is like, I feel like going surfing. It hits oxytocin because you're like immersing your body in like cold water and like, you know, moving your body. It hits serotonin because like the sun is shining, and it hits endorphins because you're working out. So it does just kind of flood your brain with good feelings. And I think that's why it's easy to get. I never
thought about the science of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like there's a reason why we're all obsessed with it. But yeah, I really do find myself I don't like organize trips around surfing, but I will say I'm more inclined to take a trip if I know I can get a surf in.
Fair.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm sitting in a car in Ireland right now is like, I don't know if I'd be here if she hadn't tempted me with a few waves. So it is funny how it does kind of.
Completely understood.
But then also when I travel to a place that doesn't have surfing, I do find myself going, so what is it we do here? Like, I'm like, so what is it? What are we up to? Like, we're just going to go to a restaurant and then what? What do we do tomorrow? Like, it almost feels confusing to me to travel to places that don't have surf or skating or something, like some activity. I feel so listless and directionless and aimless, you know?
That's how I feel. I mean, that sounds so healthy, though, that you're like, oh, I have this thing I love to do. It makes me feel good physically and mentally. I feel the same way when I'm traveling and I'm not performing at night. And I go, what do people do at like 8:30 p.m.? Because that's like, oh, I'm at work then usually. Yeah. So I totally understand the feeling of like, oh, I'm out of my routine in a way that isn't bad, but I am reckoning with it. I have one last question for you before I let you go. And this has been so beautiful and illuminating. I guess like you have made such a strong case for the joy and physiological, psychological benefits of this activity. And I truly think like, I can't imagine anyone having listened to you talk about this and not be more surf curious than they were coming in. But what is like, how do you recommend someone gets started if they're like, oh, that does sound fun, but I don't know how to do it, or like they've tried it once and it was frustrating? What is your like recommendation for someone in either of those situations?
I have a very specific one, which is you should really take a lesson. A lot of people ask me like, oh, can you teach me how to surf? No, I absolutely cannot, because I know how to surf. I don't know how to teach you how to surf. And there are plenty of people who are more than happy to go do that and who understand like the break that you're going to take your lesson at, and there are experts on that section of the ocean, and you should definitely take a lesson, take more than one lesson. You should learn the etiquette. That's extremely important. In fact, I would almost say learn that first before you even get in the water.
Where would you learn that? Just like surfing Reddit?
Literally, yeah, or like you could Google it. I mean, there's books about it, but there's sometimes at the beach they will post. In LA, they used to post signs that had like, know the etiquette, like, and then it would be like, number 1, don't snake people. Number 2, you know what I mean? It like explains, like, you should know that stuff. You should study that stuff.
Cool.
You could follow people on IG who explain that stuff. But the other thing you need to know when you get into surfing is like, it is one of the hardest sports to learn, and you will not be good at it for maybe years. At least 6 months of going 3 times a week, you will still not be good at it. You have to like, the other thing about surfing is I've never been in better shape. Like, I'm the strongest I've ever been, and it took, like 6 months of going 3 times a week to like build up all those muscles. So I think people who go on vacation once and are like, oh, I'm going to try to surf in Hawaii. It's like, well, that might shove you into some waves, but you're not going to be surfing for many, many months. But I will say it's worth the payoff if you are interested. And there's one book I love, if I might recommend it, sorry.
I would love that. Yeah.
It's called Barbarian Days, A Surfer's Life by William Finnegan, and that's a great book on surfing that'll get you stoked.
Before I let you go, I would love to give you this opportunity. The floor is yours to say goodnight to anyone out there in the world that you just want to send good bedtime vibes to.
Oh my God. Okay. I want to say goodnight maybe to my surfboard, which is still in Los Angeles and I haven't seen in many months. It's a 9.0 single fin by the shaper Joe Bark. It has flowers painted on the tail, a blue fin, and it's green. And she is a good friend of mine, but I have not seen her and I miss her very much. So good night to my surfboard.
Does she have a name?
I kind of call her like the flower board because she's got flowers. Yeah, the flower board.
Good night, flower board.
Good night, flower board.
Good night to you.
Good night, Josh. Good night from Ireland. And sweet dreams and sleep well.
That was so much fun. It was so nice to talk to my friend, and I just like love her enthusiasm. And she was so modest about not being an expert, but she knows so much. And I learned a lot about surfing and just like the joy of it. Gosh, that was so much fun. If you want to come on the show and talk about anything that's on your mind, something you've been really enthusiastic about, something you're curious about, you can email us or send a voice memo to thenightly@hatch.co, or text or leave a voicemail at our phone number, 904-NIGHTLY. That's 904-644-4859. Before I sign off for the evening, I'm going to wish a good night to the ocean, because all this talk about the beach, my wife and I made plans to go later this week. So like, I'm very excited to get out there. I'm not like a big beach person, but just hearing Erin and Annabelle talk about it this week made me really want to go be by the water. So good night to you. Good night to the Atlantic Ocean, and let's say all oceans. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.